So this is all that's left of my furniture. Okay, my seat, bed, that's mostly clothing, but that is basically my worldly possessions. Yes. So it's almost like a homeless person sneaking into an empty shed in somebody's house. And you have to wait at night. It's a dangerous situation. It's not a necessarily legal situation, so it's a little demoralizing. Yeah, and it's depressing. My name is Joy Mukwanjaro. Nee Madsen, that was my married name, but I dropped that. And I was born in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. Actually Meru, Kenya, but then I grew up in Nairobi. I went to school to Loreto Convent Valley Road. And then I also went to Kilimani. I also did some time in Limuru Girls. Yes, so then I left, I traveled to the States, in particular to California.
Which year?
Oh wow, it was in the 80s, in the late 86 to be exact. And so I went there and I started living with a family there. And I started taking a computer course there with their sister. And we lived together for a while until I met a girl that I knew at one of those Kenyan parties. And then she needed a roommate. So then I moved from the house where I was living with them and I went to share her flat with her. And over the years we became friends. We lived together for quite a while. And then I met some other friends who lived also one of these Kenyan, what are they called? One is December 12th, Kenyans get together in the States to do a choma.
All right.
So then I met someone, they lived in this really beautiful town down the coast where they invited me to come and stay. So that's how I ended up where I went to live. It's a little town by the coast, and that's why I ended up in the hospitality industry. Because most of the towns in the coast, like in Mombasa, you'll notice it's all hotels and restaurants and that sort of thing. So that was predominantly the job market there. That's when I moved to the Bay Area with my friend, and then I started taking poli-sci classes at the university.
Which university?
Of San Francisco. It's in downtown. I wanted to study in political science. I really liked it. I was working during the day and going to school in the evenings, and it proved to be too much for me. So I dropped out and continued working. That's where I met the now ex. And then, and that is when we started, that's when I started partying. Okay? Now let's get to the crux of it. Yes, we would drink, get high, listen to music. There was a lot of hippie, it was a very hippie community. And everything was nice back then, not like these days when it's very hardcore. And people are doing strange things to each other, putting things in people's liquor and all that kind of nonsense. Back then, it was a more free society. But of course, like anything else, it will lead to addiction. And so what happens is your life starts becoming dysfunctional. It becomes unmanageable. You make irrational choices. You stop being responsible. Of course, there is also the emotional and also the physical effects. Not getting enough sleep, sleeping too much, not eating well, that kind of thing. Though that really wasn't much of a problem. What it really is more like the disconnection. Like everybody kind of starts doing their own thing. And we're working different hours and there's no communication. So eventually we drifted apart.
What?
So when we drifted apart, I moved. I went to another town. A few years later, I was minding my own business in this town when they did that Musako. And then I told you they didn't go. It was like a new law where they could just get in and look for undocumented aliens. So my busy minding, and in California, that is like the capital of it. Most of the coastal towns, it's where you get a lot of people from all over the world, a lot of immigrants. So that's the kind of areas where they concentrate. So then I mind my own business. The next thing, wow! Everybody show your documentation. So upon showing, he says, "Oh, yours is expired for 2 years. Why didn't you renew?" I said, "Really, I was going to try and renew." They said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you have to come with us." So then you take it to what's called an immigration detention facility, where now you have to fight your case through the courts. But on the positive side is that it helped me dry up because you're in a detention facility, there's no drugs or alcohol or anything. All you do is eat. So
You're not providing these things.
Yes, you just eat and watch TV a lot and read. So,
Any withdrawal symptoms back then?
Actually, no, not at all. But the funny thing, it wasn't like the kind of addiction like an intravenous drug user would have, where you would have to have the shakes and withdrawal. It's more like drinking, smoking pot, that sort of a thing.
Okay.
But the effect is still the same. You still lose your way in life. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, any kind of addiction. You still lose your way in life, and and things can spiral out of control. So after a few years, actually it was like 2 years of this.
All this process took 2 years?
Yes. Or was it more? They said, now all you have to do is contact the people who are responsible, who sponsored you. Don't forget, no, I'm no longer in touch with those people. So I gave him the number. We called and called and called. This person was not available. I don't know if they changed their phone number or what, but they were not available.
Exactly.
So then they really tried to help. I'll say that for them. So when a person is not available, they only have my side of the story. If somebody can pick up and say, "Yes, I know so and so. It is her ID number. It is her documentation." If somebody could have vouched for me on the other side, they were supposed to come to court, but then at this point they said, all they have to do is call. We called this number, nobody ever called us back. They said, now the next option is you either fight it out again. Go back to the facility and fight out again, or the other option is to go home. I said, I cannot handle another one more long period of time of just sitting in a facility. I'd rather just take my chances and come home. That's how I ended up here.
Which year was this?
It was 2009.
2009. So for how many years were you in the US?
Okay, I was in the US for 21 years, from 86 to 99. Then I worked here for 2 years, and then I left in 2001 until 2009 when I've been here.
Okay.
Upon getting here, I tried to find work. I really tarmacked. It's not the same as before. I tried to find work everywhere. I went to Gateway, just handing out my CV everywhere to everyone. I think I handed out like 30 of them. Okay, to no avail. I lived with relatives, on and off, while I was applying. Just kind of bouncing around. So kind of, After that, I moved out on my own. So of course you start getting anxieties, like how am I going to live while I process my things
Papers.
and get on with my life. I can't spend my life dependent on people. So then I went to rehab. And then after that, I took a course to become a chemical dependency addictions counselor. I liked that. I actually used to work in the rehabs where I was. I was a life skill teacher, and I used to teach certain classes. The work started becoming less and less. I don't know if it was politicking or just competition, because everybody else who goes to rehab and graduates wants the job. So now it depends on your. It's a more kind of like who you know. So the hours started becoming unreasonable. I applied to all the other rehabs. It's just been very, very difficult job market. So then after that, that's how I ended up here. I told you I came here for a retreat, and also there was also a few other rehabs around here that I hoped to work with. So even if that didn't pan out, I came here for a retreat, and then that's when I moved here with this family where I have been staying. So after that, the hours got less. I started doing odd jobs around here. I've been here for the last 6 years. So basically that. And then we also recycle the chupas, the plastic. We help keep the landscaping clean. We pull weeds. We cut we cut grass, just kind of prune, just anything to make the property look nice. We pride ourselves on having a garden setting, and so I work with a crew that does that here, all over the place. What stresses me out right now is my accommodation situation, because I had to move and I have pets. And so I am currently like in a car room somewhere. Yes, this is after moving out of here. It happened suddenly, so I had to take out what I could emergency. So this is all that's left of my furniture. Okay, my seat, bed, that's mostly clothing. And I don't know if you have ever had a situation of when you have been evicted. It's a bit traumatizing. When you come home and you find your things outside, it feels like you've been robbed. You understand? It feels like you've been robbed. So it's been an adjustment for me. The rest, the beddings, I have moved somewhere else, where I have a temporary shelter over there. It's a container with my bedroll. And so my friends sneak me in and sneak me out. Yes.
You sneaking?
I have to. I mean, it's like in a public place, like at the shopping center. So it's like I can't exactly be snoring when people are at work. So I have to wait for people to go home, so that it's quiet enough. You understand? So it's almost like a homeless person sneaking into an empty shed in somebody's house. Then you have to wait at night. It's a dangerous situation. It's not a necessarily legal situation, so it's a little demoralizing. Yeah, and it's depressing. That you have to live like that. You don't have a place where you go up through the door and turn your key and step in like a normal person. You feel like a criminal. Yeah, but I'm a woman. I can't sleep outside at night. This is Nairobi. I'd rather find somewhere where I can jifungia, even maybe it's like a watchman shack or something like that, than to be outside at night. I have to look after myself. Exactly. Oh, this is mattress. This is laundry that I haven't done, and then that's my suitcase. This is stuff I'm supposed to come and pick up either today or tomorrow. It's just I'm not exactly very sure. Okay, but that is basically my worldly possessions. Yes. Yes, yes. Not the best situation, very, very unsure situation. So I one day hope to get gainful employment where I'm making enough money, where I can find myself someplace decent, with plumbing, and live like normal people, and maybe save some money and get on with my life, instead of living from hand to mouth. After a while you start to lose your morale. Yeah.
Don't you feel like this probably your addiction stole the 21 glorious years you had in the US, given that you lost your marriage, you came back to the country, things were on a downward fall for you?
Yeah. Oh, it don't paint this addiction as a dreary problem. I had a lot of other positive experiences. I met a lot of wonderful people. I learned a lot of wonderful things. I went to a lot of wonderful places. So I don't necessarily I do not want to say that it was my addiction that necessarily destroyed my life. There were other factors. So when people focus on it, I do not want to be remembered for just being an addict.
All this while, where was your family?
My family were here in Africa. I have two siblings, a younger sister and brother. We talked on the phone. But they were mostly here in Africa. My mom went to the States. The other two are here, and so we everybody's kind of like in their corner of the world, but we keep in contact. We talk on the phone, but like I said before, with the distance, everybody's busy. Everybody's living their own lives, basically.
Did they probably stretch a hand in your situation?
Occasionally, they did when they could. But things, have gotten a little bit difficult. We've kind of drifted apart over the years. And it's also the issue of, when are you going to get it together? When are you going to get it together?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, when you get a lot of, when are we going to get it together, one tends to just kind of wander off on their own. So that's where we are right now. We'll talk, but yes.
Do you feel like they've let you be?
Not necessarily let me be, more like I could have used more emotional support. I could have used more time, and not all this. That one is, people tend to like criticize and bring somebody down when they're out, and it's like, I really don't think that is an effective method of helping anybody.
Exactly.
It's better to leave them alone than to criticize them when they're at a crossroads in their lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So earlier on, when I was talking to your mom, she was like, she's given it her best shot. She feels like, what else is there for me to do to probably help my daughter out? What do you think that could be?
Well, for one thing, she needs to hear my side of the story, which I think is the reason why we're here. On one level, she needs to see it from that perspective, because maybe we didn't communicate effectively. And I particularly am not very interested in other people's word of mouth. I'd rather find out myself. We're a small society and we're a little gossipy. And we tend to exaggerate things. And so somebody can come and tell somebody who is sensitive a really terrible story just to sound interesting or just to see their reaction. And this person gets devastated. There's a way you can tell somebody something, and there's a way you shouldn't.
Exactly.
She
didn't get your side of the story.
No, she didn't. She tends to listen more to everybody else about me than me. Yeah.
What about your siblings?
My siblings are fine. They're just living their own lives. And of course they'll listen to the people they're used to. We didn't spend too much time growing up together, so they're most likely going to listen to people who are around them.
Have you had maybe time to spend with your brother or your sister?
Yeah, we spend we spend Easter together. We talk on the phone once in a while. I call and say hello. Yeah, we spend some time. Sometimes I used to go down to down to see them for the holidays, or sometimes we go to shags.
Do you feel like you failed them?
No, because I do not place expectations on other people. Yes, I might have failed them, that I didn't become the star, but that is not something that I think one should judge one, because life happens.
Exactly.
And you cannot base your expectations on somebody else. That's unfair. You're supposed to live your life, and I'm supposed to live my life.
Exactly.
If it works out, it works out. I do not judge how your life turns out. You understand? So that's a bit of an unfair way of looking at things. Oh, you failed us. You disappointed us.
Do you at times feel like your family should come through for you?
If they want. If they want to come through for me, yes, they can. But you see, I'm at the point in my life now where I am tired of asking for handouts. I'm tired of asking for help. I would like to do things on my own. If it's not, I cannot sit around waiting for somebody to help me. Okay, because we are all family in the world. Anybody who is in a position to help me, I would appreciate that. It doesn't necessarily have to be my family. Do you understand? I'm not making this for my family. I'm just making this for a story. Yes.
Exactly.
So, if there was anybody in a situation, in a position to help, that I would really appreciate.
What kind of help would you need?
Maybe more formal employment. Maybe a better income, and definitely accommodation, more more steady accommodation, maybe relocation. Because if I'm earning or doing something where I'm making enough money, I can take care of my problems. I don't want to be a charity case. Do you understand?
Exactly.
I just want uwezo. I just need uwezo to be able to help myself. You know, don't buy me fish, buy me a fishing rod.
Exactly. So, what's your specialty? If someone were to offer you a job,
I'm competent with computers. I'm very good in hospitality, restaurant, quite the meet-a-greeter, if you know what I mean. I'm good with people.
Clearly, I can tell.
Yeah. I'm also certified in chemical dependency and addiction counseling.
Knowing that you have specialty in that.
Yes.
And then you're the same person in this situation that needs help.
Yes.
How do you feel about it?
I see the irony of the situation. But maybe if I had more work, I would have less time to get in trouble. So maybe if I, like I was telling you where I was working, I just started getting less and less hours. So it even started becoming expensive for me to go and talk because I wasn't making enough money to travel that distance. So that's how I left that alone. And the politicking was also a lot. So yes, any of those opportunities I would welcome in any capacity.
Exactly.
Yes.
If your mom was listening to you right now, what would you like to tell her wherever she is in the US?
I'd like to wish her well, and hope to hear from her soon. Yes. All the best.
What would you like to hear from her?
I'd like to hear what she thinks of this. Yes.
Exactly. What about your siblings?
The same. Yes, I'd like to hear their feedback. Yes.
When you look at the addiction, probably in young teens, in regards to
drugs and alcohol.
Yes. What do you like to say about it?
Oh wow. You can learn from other people's experience. Where this path will take you if your life spins out of control. To be careful, you know, like there's an addiction term they use. They say to stay away from slippery places and slippery people and slippery things. So to just be careful and take better care of themselves. Yeah, and not to waste their lives and their education. You know, relapsing and backsliding and basically running around in circles, wondering what it was all about. Yes, that is one thing I would like to share with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you are to get back on your feet,
yes,
will you maybe consider somebody?
Personally, no. I'm really not interested in people like that. I have friends. I'm not in a relationship. There's other things I want to concentrate in my life. I doubt something like that would ever happen anyway. But no, I'm happy the way I am. Yes.
Your hubby, do you probably have wind of where he is?
No.
Right now?
No.
If he were to watch you today?
Yes.
What would you like him to hear from you?
I'm hi. I hope all is good with you. Keep in touch. Get in touch if you can. I hope you're safe.